Welcome to another episode of our view on Cry Out TV. I am Chodong Gumba, your humble host. On today's episode, we are going to focus on two secret detention facilities where the torture and murder of innocent journalist Samuel Ajeka Abue, also known as Wazizi, took place, and also unmask the two men who command these dungeons. Colonel Eyenge Severin is the boss in charge of the 21st Motorized Infantry Brigade in Buea, located opposite the Southwest Governor's office. In the course of our investigation, we reached out to this colonel. As usual with most Cameroonian officials and their attitude of having monopoly in questioning, listen to what he had to say when we called to question him about what transpired at his area of command.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Am I speaking to Colonel Yenga?
You are already doing it.
Pardon?
You are already doing it.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Chodong Gumba of Cry Out TV, based in Houston, Texas. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Oh, thank you. I have a few questions to ask you. On August 7, 2019, journalist by name Samuel Ajeka Abue was transferred to the 21st Motorized Infantry Battalion by some of your officers. I want to know those officers who went and picked him up, or the officers who were on guard that received him from the Munya police station.
Are you very serious?
Very, very serious.
You are unknown and you call me to give a call asking me questions. I have to answer.
I've identified myself to you.
I don't know you, eh?
I'm an
I don't know you.
I understand. I'm an investigative reporter, and I'm calling you.
You see, you are a reporter. Am I obliged to answer your question?
Of course.
I don't know who you are.
Of course, you're not
You
obliged.
introduce yourself. I understand you, but I don't know you.
You don't need to know me for the information that I'm asking.
Yes, I don't need to talk to an unknown person.
No, I've identified,
know
Colonel, I've identified myself to
Oh,
you.
sorry, you know that I'm Colonel. I don't know you.
Okay, but I've identified
I don't know
myself
you.
to you. I am
have
an
nothing to
investigative
do- I
reporter.
have nothing to do.
I don't need to
Excuse
be
me.
in your presence so that you guys can arrest like you have
Okay,
arrested.
I don't need to answer
this
you.
journalist.
I have no answer to
Your
you.
boys have tortured him, they have killed the boy, and you don't want to respond. But let me explain something to you,
I don't
Colonel.
know you.
You don't need to know me
Listen, I
to
don't
give
know
an
you.
account of a human being, a citizen under your
I
jurisdiction.
don't know you. You are not an institution on unknown body call.
I don't need to be an institution to question you about a citizen that has been arrested, tortured, and killed under your custody. I don't need to be an
You have
institution.
$18.17 remaining in your account. Please enter the telephone number.
Hello?
Yes, Colonel, you don't need to respond, but let me just say something to you.
No longer disturb me.
Very
You are
soon,
unknown. I don't know you.
There will be a day of
know you.
reckoning where all of you who have abused your powers will be held accountable by the people. I'm not threatening you, you are a colonel. No, you are a colonel, I cannot threaten you. I'm just letting you know that there is going to be a day of reckoning where all of you
You have
who have abused.
$17.89 remaining in your account.
We are very aware that you cannot be the head or a commanding officer without having the full knowledge of what is happening under your command. Most often, they give the orders on whom to be tortured to junior officers. These junior officers follow these orders from superior officers, knowing very well they will be protected by their bosses in case of an investigation. In certain situations, in order to avoid media and diplomatic pressure, the bosses eventually sacrifice the junior officers who were involved or carry out the act. A good example is what happened to the soldiers directly linked to the killing of unarmed women and children in the far north, and most recently, the 3 soldiers who have been charged over the killing of unarmed civilians in Ngabu, Northwest Region, Cameroon. Wazizi was transferred from the 21st Motorized Infantry Battalion to Semil Headquarters, Yaoundé, which is headed by one of Cameroon's most dreaded and notorious military executioner, Joel Emile Bankui, who can only be compared to late Jean Fauchibe, chief political police and executioner of opponents of late President Amadou Ahidjo and current President Paul Biya. Joel Emile Bankui has track records of criminal activities linked to him, which we shall be disclosing in the days ahead on Our View. In the course of an investigation we carried a while back, we interviewed Colonel Bankui, who tried his best to convince us he's a decent soldier who follows the rule of law and respects human rights, with extended military training from renowned international law enforcement agencies like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. We want our viewers to listen to some excerpts of our past conversations with Colonel Joel Bankui.
Hello, good afternoon, Colonel.
Yes, how are you calling?
I'm fine. My name is Theodore, Colonel. I'm calling from the US. How are you today?
Yes, I'm doing fine, Mr. Theodore.
Okay. Colonel, I'm calling because I was doing an investigation. You don't have anything wrong there, but I want to hear from your own side. I was doing I thank you very much for giving me this audience. I was doing an investigation concerning the problem we have in the country. I do investigative reporting. It means that I will not want to report about you without talking to you and getting your own side of facts. I think it's a responsible way to do reporting. So this is what is going on.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry, Colonel, we got disconnected. So
Yes, you know we have a phone network here.
I know.
It's very important to call with the direct phone. If you don't have a phone, I have released your telephone. I can call you with my phone in my office.
No, it's okay. I can call direct. Now I'm calling direct.
No problem.
So, Colonel, let me tell you before I called, okay? I've been investigating you and I've received a good feedback. I've received some good feedback, not all. So I must be very honest with you. And I'm happy with what I've received. I've been told there are times that you come to your prison cell in the middle of the night and you remove people that there is no justification for them to be in your cell. I've been told that. Now, let me go into how my investigation got to the point where you are involved. There is one of your elements, Colonel Tabala in Douala, and Commandant. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I thought he was a colonel. Okay, so this is what is happening now. In this Anglophone struggle, we have the separatists here in the diaspora that they have enticed the young guys to pick up weapons. And the young guys are fighting. Now, permit me say there is a reason for the Anglophones to fight. But some of the people in the diaspora are not being honest. It means that they raise money, they keep the money, and the boys are fighting are dying. And that is a concern to me. Why? Because during this time of fighting, civilians are the ones that are suffering the most. And nobody cares about the civilians. Now, I step in to investigate the ills and why civilians are being hurt and who are those involved. And this is how my investigation is coming in. Now, in the side of the people in the US, I condemn them. So, it's not everybody that is calling from abroad that is actually okay, has a problem. No, I'm reporting from the side of somebody doing investigative work. So if you are a secessionist, you are here in the US and you're doing wrong, I report, I investigate you, and I put it out there. The name of my media house is Cry Out Television. Now, about Tabala. Yes, Cry Out TV.
That was one. Now listen to another encounter.
Because those people in the prison are not the people that are fighting.
He was negotiating with apartheid government. You know it?
Yes.
And when we finished negotiating, we released him and then we applied the thing by arrest when he was in prison. No,
No.
you cannot say it so.
Colonel, think about this. This is different. The time of Nelson Mandela and now is different because communication is like 360 degrees different. Today, it is difficult to do that kind of negotiation. Why? Because at this present moment, they don't consider the president of the Ambazonians to be doing anything right. They feel like he has been compromised. So it is not to the best interest of the government to think that they can negotiate with them while in prison, because the people that are outside that are fighting, they are no more listening to the people in prison. It's simple. But if the government really want to make something that is going to be good and is going to work, they should release those people and say they are ready now to talk. You will see what will happen. Then, now the people that are outside,
you know why keeping is only to put pressure on them. No, I tell you something. I'm the person who was first involved in all this matter. I'm the one who went to Nigeria and arrest Seko, organized all his abduction. It's me. If you want, I will tell you so.
no, it was you and this guy, the guy that is in Brazil now, the military attaché guy. How do they call him?
No, don't involve Tatason in it. Tatason was not in it. If they want to kill Tatason don't know the operation.
Okay.
He was surprised, and he tell that he married a sister of Steve.
Yes.
Yes, he was not involved. And then when he was in Nigeria, very still threatening him. This is why I sending in Brazil. He was complaining. He said, no, I don't know why it's happening. How now? But no, I tell Tatason, no problem. I will transfer you to Brazil. Then you will not be threatened in Nigeria again. No, it was me. I know the thing. Now, even now, I know where people are in Calabar, Ashuki, say only people. They tell me do some time out operation and then I'm going to adopt him. I only use Nigerian, but I released two of them.
No, the two of them you released. These are the two people that helped you in your operation.
No. There was American citizen.
Oh, because they were American citizens. But la fille avocat n'est pas une citoyen américaine. It's not a citizen of America. The lady.
Américaine, c'est pour ça que j'ai laissé.
Non, elle n'était pas américaine.
La fille avocat n'était pas impliquée dans cette histoire. On ne pouvait pas arrêter tout le monde. Elle aussi, on l'a retrouvée comme ça entraînée. Il y a même aussi maître, je crois, Eyambe. Bon, je veux voir tout ça. J'avais même demandé qu'on le libère ici, mais bon, on a refusé seulement parce que on va le libérer.
Mais Eyambe, c'est l'ami de Tatasin. Ils sont grandis ensemble.
Je sais, à Koubadon, à Tiango.
Yes.
I know.
Et Tatasin, pourquoi tout le monde, la main est sur Tatasin? C'est parce que on sait que Tatasin sautait avec la fille avocat là.
Non, ce n'est pas, Tatasin ne connaît même pas l'opération. Cette opération, je l'ai menée à partir du Cameroun. Quand je suis arrivé, les Nigériens m'ont dit, ok, que eux, ils ne veulent pas être impliqués, bon, qu'on vienne arrêter les gens. J'ai dit, bon, vous travaillez, vous nous remettez seulement les gens. Ils ont travaillé, tous les rendez-vous, tout ce qu'ils avaient pris à l'hôtel, tout ça, c'était fait prêt. Mais par contre, le trait dans le groupe là, c'est Chris Anou, c'est un grand trait. Moi, je peux pas te cacher, il a beaucoup travaillé avec nous. Peut-être il ne le savait pas, mais, okay. C'est pour ça que tu vois tout ce qu'il fait, il fait comme s'il était du imam, il est rien là, c'est le pion là-bas.
Les gens ne connaissent pas que Chris Anou, c'est vraiment une traite. Et pour lui,
c'est pour ça qu'il joue au radical là. Tu sais que c'est une manière de laver sa conscience. Déjà difficile là. Et
c'est parce que lui, il a faim.
Bon, ça, je ne savais pas. Mais, j'aimerais simplement te dire que moi, tout ça, ça me fait rire. Même où vous êtes là-bas, là, je connais faire les opérations. Je suis expert FBI. I work with FBI. I have expertise. I am a correspondent of FBI here in Africa. You don't know it, but I'm working with them. Je connais comment faire. Je connais tout. Je connais toutes vos adresses. Si je veux simplement, mais si je veux aujourd'hui, even in Nigeria, I will put end of it, but on nous a dit de tempérer quand tu veux les terrains pour négocier les opérations.
Parce que it causes violation of international laws.
No, but it's not a violation. We still working with Nigeria. Even here, when we have problems, first send them here and we help them.
Wow. Okay.
Let's go back to this current investigation where we reached out to Colonel Bankui, whom we can all consider a parrot by now.
Hello, Colonel. Hey, this is Chodong Gumba Crowd TV. I am calling to find out something, please. Yeah, I am investigating the death of Samuel Wazizi, and I have also called the colonel of the 21st Infantry Battalion. We understand that Samuel Wazizi was transferred from there to your place, and we want to know what happened along the line, where he was tortured. Hello, Colonel, you there?
You have $24.86 remaining in your account. The speed dial code is not valid. Please enter the telephone number you wish to dial now, or you have 1 hour, 4 minutes remaining for this call. Dear customer, votre appel va être renvoyé vers la messagerie vocale.
Before calling him, I knew if he was innocent, he would definitely give us clues about the death of Samuel Wazizi. It is now obvious that both colonels, Joel Emile Bankwi and colleague Eyenge Severin, have some questions to answer. Their cover-up would not have taken this long if not of the fact that the Cameroon judiciary has been hijacked by the executive and the military. The one big problem with the judiciary, especially the legal department, is the practice of hierarchical subordination and obligation to render account even when there is a clear violation of the law. It should be noted that without a convocation or an arrest warrant issued for Wazizi, his arrest is considered an arbitrary arrest. And without any investigation that would have led to a charge, his detention is also considered illegal. Let's not forget that Wazizi was never produced in front of any state council, which should have been the case. According to the Criminal Procedure Code in Cameroon, bail is a right accorded to a suspect, defendant, or an accused person under lawful custody. Section 218 of the Criminal Procedure Code makes bail a rule and remand in custody an exception. The fact that Wazizi was never investigated or sent to court on a charge makes it mandatory for him to be granted bail pending investigations, if there was supposed to be any. This should explain to those in doubt why we say the judiciary has been hijacked. The question we have now to the Cameroonian authorities is, who is the custodian of the enforcement of the rule of law in the Southwest region? Why has this person been silent when a citizen was arbitrarily arrested, illegally detained, tortured, and murdered by the military in his jurisdiction? We'll continue our investigations and expose the role played by all these government officials who abuse their powers every day. It is just a matter of time for the truth to be out, and the day of reckoning is getting closer. We want to use this platform to call on the offices of the United Nations and Amnesty International in Cameroon to do well to protect the family of late Samuel Wazizi, especially his two elder brothers, who came out to debunk the lies told by head of communication at the Ministry of Defense, Cyrille Atonfack Guemo, and also his lawyers and family spokesman. We don't want a similar situation like the Ngabu massacre, where a witness was murdered by the military before a commission of inquiry was created. We also want to use this opportunity to thank Ms. Angela Quintal, Africa Program Coordinator with the Committee to Protect Journalists, for her relentless effort in fighting for justice for all incarcerated journalists in Africa. Cameroon Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Diongute has a fatherly responsibility to look into this Wazizi's case and ensure that justice is served and the due process of the Cameroon legal system is respected. We also call for the release of all journalists illegally detained. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we shall look more into the corrupt judiciary and the cover-up of the Wazizi case. The Cameroon government seems not to understand the concept of the news media or press as a fourth branch of the government, where the responsibility to inform the populace is very essential to the healthy functioning of a democracy. Our view is proposed to provide investigative reporting content aimed at presenting the truth to our viewers. If you enjoyed this episode, please support us by downloading our app on Play Store and App Store, and by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow our social media pages. We urge you all to download the Cry Out app now so that you don't miss the next episode. Stay tuned as we release the latest update of our app with interesting features like the whistleblower feature and the eyewitness reporter feature. Thank you all for your time, and stay tuned.